Hey guys, so this is my last night in the 2019 Mazda 3. It's been a pretty good week in this car. I have really not found a lot of faults with this thing. It's pretty good. It's a really nice all-rounder. Maybe not quite as fun as Mazdas of old, but it's a little bit more grown up. There's a little bit of maturity here in the way this car drives, and the design, and the feel, and the fit, and the finish. And of course the price. This is getting pretty close to 30 grand, but you're getting a lot of car for that money. It's all-wheel drive. It's got really, really nice safety tech. It's pretty much fully loaded. It has a great drivetrain, plenty of room inside, super usable. Really not a whole lot to mark against this Mazda 3. And all-wheel drive Mazdas have never been as exciting to drive as their two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive variants. If you want a sports car, get a Miata. But if you want a daily driver, this Mazda 3 is pretty awesome, and I think it bodes well for the future of the rest of the Mazda lineup. I mentioned this in my last video. They've fixed the reverse camera. It's nice and high resolution now. I wish they could make it fill the full screen, but that's okay, you can't have it all. Also, it looks like there isn't a way to turn off this park brake when you're in park. Again, another safety thing, but to set off when you're from park to drive, you do have to tap the accelerator, and you'll feel that parking brake disengage automatically that way. Those are literally my only complaints with this car. Otherwise, it's fantastic. It's decently peppy, doesn't feel bogged down or limited by the all-wheel drive system when you're driving around, in situations where you don't need all-wheel drive, like dry roads or in the summer. I think it's peppy enough. This transmission's nice and responsive. The brake pedal feel is amazing. And this car is really, really well equipped. There's just some really nice design language in here. It's super feature rich. The radar guided cruise control, I've been using that a lot this week. It's nice in some circumstances. It tends to be a little bit jerky. There's a lot of braking that's a little bit, it's not harsh or rough, but it feels like it's braking too much. And I'd rather it kind of smooth out some of those speed differentials by letting off the throttle and being a little bit smoother with its inputs. Still though, it's livable and it works quite well. The lane keep assist system is basically just a reminder to stay in your lane. There's not going to be any real steering inputs that are going to keep you centered, and that's fine. It's a Mazda, you should be driving this thing anyway. Great passing power on the highway, and very, very quiet. One of my complaints with the last Mazda 3 was there was just a little bit too much wind noise at speed, and that's definitely not the case here. This is a big improvement on NVH in this cabin. Let's do a little handling test here. Use these paddle shifters to downshift. I mean, it's lively. There's no doubt about that. It's not boring to drive, and you can really feel that G vectoring control going to work there, making this car rotate. A lot of mechanical grip, and that's enhanced even more with that G vectoring control, which is pretty impressive. Let's throw it into sport mode and see if that does anything fun. We've got a car up there. Let's give it a chance to get ahead. Everyone wants a turbo in this car. Mazda might come out with a Mazda Speed 3. Gosh, though, this chassis is fantastic. There's just so much grip. And that G vectoring control really does work. quick shifts. So you can push this car, you can have a little bit of fun in it. But honestly, there's a little bit more of a luxurious feel to this Mazda 3. And I like it. I think it's a really, really good balance. It can hang in the corners, it's responsive, it's still relatively fun to drive. I think if you want the enthusiast Mazda 3, I would swing for the manual hatchback. Yeah, it's a little pricey, but this is such a great platform, you kind of can't go wrong. However, in this spec, it's pretty nice, I gotta say. I might even consider it as one of our next cars here in a couple years, who knows. We're looking to get something a little bit smaller than my fiance's Ford Edge, and as a result gain a little bit of garage space. And this Mazda 3 checks a lot of boxes. It's good looking. I think it's reasonably priced for what it is. I mean, all cars are getting more expensive these days. It's just the way it is with how difficult they are to build around, safety regulations and all sorts of different things that manufacturers have to stick to. But as a result, cars are getting so much better and so much safer. So, if you can't afford it or don't want to spend that much money, I don't blame you. You can always see what the used market has to offer. And that's always an option with this in a couple of years too. So, but as a new vehicle with a warranty, this thing kicks ass. I am quite impressed. Ride quality is really nice. My headphones, these binaural microphones, are great 99% of the time. They tend to exaggerate the sound over bumps sometimes, however. It sounds like there's a little bit more cabin intrusion through the audio than there really is. This car is actually very, very good over bumps, even with these larger wheels. No real complaints there. Pretty big leap for Mazda in terms of just overall quality and feel. This is a great car. They've done well here, and that pretty much sums up the Mazda 3 for me. So, hope you guys enjoyed the videos on this week. Taking a little break with press cars for a couple weeks, and then we're hitting it hard, heading up to Road America. Tedward is actually going to be in town, and we're going to head up there for the Mama Spring Rally and get a bunch of videos on a bunch of vehicles. It's going to be a fun week of testing lots of different things, and hopefully I can get into a 6-speed manual Mazda 3 hatchback. But, for those of you who want a turbo, they might do it. I don't know of any confirmed information on whether they're going to be coming out with a Mazda Speed Turbo Mazda 3 anytime soon, but the elements are here for a really, really great platform. So if you're looking for a great daily driver, don't discount the Mazda 3. Take one for a test drive, see what you think, see how it fits into your lifestyle, and I would highly recommend it. It's a great car. For 30 grand, you kind of can't go wrong. In the automotive space, I think this is a little bit more premium feeling and exciting than a lot of its competitors, and dipping into that luxury segment as well for a lot less money. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.